What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Everything Paranormal Show. I'm your host, Josh Morris. I do not have Stacy Talich with me tonight. However, because we are all family, I don't want to, air out his personal affairs. But let's just say that, we should all send prayers his way just so his wife can have good recovery. And again, like I said, we care about our family here on the Everything Paranormal Show. So, guys, just send some love Stacy's way. So I hope you guys are doing good tonight. I hope you guys can hear me well. I've got my sort of blast set up here. Okay. So tonight we have a very serious discussion that I really want to talk about. This is something there's been a lot of stuff going on. Again, I don't want to spend the whole show talking about one or two specific I'm going to get it right. Instances. However, I do really want to talk about a few different things. And just overall, the debunking community versus ghost hunting community. And I want to kind of set a few records straight. I want to give my opinions. I want to put some of that stuff out there. I want to throw my ring a little bit into the hat. And just sort of try to maybe clarify a little bit. And guys, this has been, if any of you follow Debunkers, so let me just kind of state my standpoint first before we get into things. I'm a ghost hunter, okay? However, I'm not trying to be biased in this debate or argument. But I am stating the fact that I am technically a ghost hunter. I'm a paranormal investigator, paranormal researcher. I've been doing all of these things for several years, along with my wife, Terry Lynn, who's in the chat, by the way. Hey, honey. And of course, Terry Lynn also follows Debunkers. She follows other ghost hunting. You ring into the hat. Yeah, I'm going to throw my ring into the hat. So it's not a hat into the ring. It's a ring into the hat. So if you picture like a hat and no, I don't want to throw my hat into a ring. No, I want to throw the ring into a hat like a game. Anyways, all right, we're getting sidetracked. You know what I mean? Okay, so anyways, despite my verbal screw ups here, but no, seriously, like I'm a ghost hunter. We're paranormal investigators, and so I do have to come forward and say that's at least going to be some on my part as well. Now, again, when it comes to debunking paranormal, that's something that I've done over the years. As far as when you investigate, you do a lot of investigating and you try to figure things out and then you try to get things debunked. So with that being said, I will say that is the truth. I have to say that's what I'm representing. However, I'm not representing a side. I'm just representing my view, my take. Because I've been sitting back and I've been watching people like debunkers, like The Shape, and one of the newer ones that I've noticed that was in some of the recent drama online, Spectre. But we got was it the bearded guy? Who was it? What's the bearded guy? And then we got Mr.Gray, the world of Mr.Gray. I don't know. There's a few of them out there. If I'm missing some of the debunkers, I don't know all of them. I mainly watched The Shape, a little bit of the beard guy, and world of Mr.Gray. And I started seeing, of course, some of Spectre. So those are some of the ones that I've been seeing on the debunking side. So as a ghost hunter, you might think, well, Josh, why would you watch these guys? Well, one is most of them, they bring up good points. They're going to watch videos. There's a paranormal community that's on YouTube, right? And a lot of these followers, they do, like, you have some of the same ones. Like, I had some of the same people that subscribed to me were subscribed to The Shape, or were subscribed to oh my gosh, or people like out of the Florida crew, Franco TV, all these different people. I've even had some subscribers of the same ones. So again, there's this paranormal community that kind of goes around and they enjoy watching different things. And even myself and my wife, we enjoy watching some of these videos, some of these fake videos get debunked. We enjoy it too. Even though we know how to do a lot of that, it's fun to watch other people do it. It's fun to watch their takes on things. I just enjoy it. And sometimes I even enjoy some of the comedy in there as well. So with all of that, now ghost hunting. Let me talk a little bit about ghost hunting, and then we're going to talk about the two. Ghost hunting, here's the thing. You have different types of people out there right now on YouTube, on social media. You're going to have investigators that are only really worried about subscribers. Okay. This is usually some of your higher level channels. Now, they may not have started out that way. Maybe not. Some have said, hey, I want a piece of that action. I know what I can do. Like I've got the ability to travel. I've got the ability to do things like that. So guess what? They go around and they start hitting up these places. They start streaming it. They start posting videos. And when you start doing that on a regular basis, you can quickly get a following. As long as you're out there in the field doing investigations, you can quickly get a following. And not only that, but a lot of them that are seeking subscribers, they also see how to fake, or how to just get away with what they think is getting away with, a small amount of fakery to, again, enhance the videos, so that way they can get away with it and get subscribers. Because let's face it, shock value gets subscribers. Now, I bring this up because, let's face it, when you watch a real investigation, a real one, okay, maybe some of you don't know what a real investigation is, but let me tell you, it's boring. Okay, real paranormal investigations are not very exciting at all. Most of the evidence you find is later on in evidence review. And even evidence review is becoming outdated because a lot of people just go right to the shortcut. They have spirit boxes where they can get immediate responses, what they call like immediate responses, right? So they try to do everything they can to sort of take away evidence review. However, that's actually where most of your real evidence is found, is in evidence review, right? So again, you get these people, they chase the subscriber counts. They're trying to come up with these shock value things like, oh my God, and like stuff is flying off their counters, cabinet doors are shutting, and people buy this stuff hook, line, and sinker, especially if it's live. And I did this video where it's called paranormal laundering, or paranormal laundry, or something like that, laundering. So it's just like money laundering, but you're doing it through paranormal stuff. So paranormal laundering, it's really when you take sort of that fake video and you make it look real by different ways. And one of those is when you have a channel that doesn't do paranormal. So you're like, hey, I know that a good paranormal video can get me a lot of hits. I do fishing. So guess what? You have one video where you have something cool happen, and then what do you think the comments are? The number one thing is, look, this has got to be real because they just do fishing. They don't do paranormal videos. Meanwhile, but yet when a ton of people do it, it starts to become obvious. Like, okay, they figured it out. Do something, fake a good video and have it go viral so their fishing channel does good. So that's one way that they can paranormal launder a video. Another way, of course, would be things like live, finding ways to fake things live. When you have a live stream, people say, oh, that had to be real. He couldn't have edited that. He could have like videoed that in like After Effects because we're live, you know. So again, we've found out that, again, that's false. And of course, you can stage things as long as you have a good plan and you make it plausible. You can usually get away with it. And people say, hey, it's live. Anyways, so this is some of the ways that the ghost hunting community, and unfortunately, guess who suffers? The very few honest channels out there. I've got some friends of mine that I've met along the way. They're honest investigators. They truly want to do good, honest investigating. And they try to get a YouTube following because, let's face it, you don't make money doing this. As far as investigating, the only way you're really going to make money is if you get a good following on social media, and you get monetized on some things, maybe some merchandise, things like that. So that's what a lot of people try to do, and unfortunately, the honest ones, the ones that I know about that are pretty honest, they have a pretty low sub count. Of course, I have a really low sub count, but I don't. Again, I'm not really out there faking my stuff. So when you look at my things like the Eaton House, or the Epic ink tattoo, you look at some of the locations that I've done on my YouTube channel, that stuff's not fake, but it's not fully exciting because it doesn't have that shock value. Okay, so the debunking community and the ghost hunting community. So what seems to be the big problem? Of course, this is where we get into the bickering. Okay, so for the longest time, the way that a lot of these ghost hunting channels were getting away with stuff, of course, is just making it appear real, and that's through deception, right? They're deceiving their audience. There's audience members fall for it and they subscribe, Well, then later on, there was kind of a when debunkers really started coming out, the world of Mr. Gray and Shape and things like this, as debunking started picking up steam, and as the faking started to get exposed more, a lot of channels started to put entertainment purposes only in their little description, right? So they thought, hey, this is a good clause, right? That way, if for some reason I get caught faking, because again, they're just going to keep doing it until they get caught, right? That's the thing. Then they can say, well, I did have entertainment purposes, and it was wrong of me to do that, but hey, I mean, no harm, no foul. I'm only making $5,000 a week, Anyways, well, the debunking community started to again tear apart these videos, and it's not that they're picking on the people themselves. One thing I can say, watching the debunkers and listening to them talk, and you can go to their channels, by all means, go to their channels. Go support all of these guys if you want. If you want to go to the ghost hunter channels that are doing the faking and you want to be entertained, you can go sub to them. It's up to you. It's not a big deal. However, I don't believe in rewarding them in that sense. But the point is that the debunkers, it's not so much that they were trying to pick on the individuals. They're not trying to say, hey, you're scum, you're whatever. They're not trying to really insult them in that way. They're just saying, look, you're deceiving your viewers. Some of these people are legitimately like praying for you. They are sitting there like, oh my God, this person's in trouble. Like their household is being attacked by demons, and we need to pray for them. We need to send them money. We need to come together for these people. And meanwhile, that's not true, and that's where you're deceiving. Even if it's just a few people, even if 10,000 people click like, and they all understand that it's kind of fake, but you get 5 people, or even that, if somebody's deceived, you get a small handful of people that are deceived. Again, I know we can't cater to everybody. I get that. But when you're deceiving people, that's wrong, period. That's wrong. And that's what the debunking community is all about. It's not so much that you're faking it, it's more of that you are deceiving your audience. Okay, you cannot put for entertainment purposes, because I put that on all my stuff anyways. Even my real investigations, I put for entertainment purposes only, because paranormal is not fact. It's not black and white. So even if I go and film a legitimate investigation like the Eaton House or the tattoo place or the hospitals or all the places I've done, it don't matter. Even if 100%, right? And I show you guys, hey, here's what I found, whatever, I put it together. I still will put for entertainment purposes. And see, and that's the point. It's like, I'm not trying to deceive anybody, but at the same time, I want people to understand that, look, this is paranormal. You kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. So even if I come across what I think could be real evidence, right? Like if I come across an EVP, there's going to be people that watch it and they're going to say, no, that's not true. So again, that's up to perspective. That's up to opinion. So, but again, for the ghost hunters that are out there and they're purposely deceiving their crowd, and they're not putting on there that it's a fictional work, because now you made it fiction, right? Once you cross that line and you start faking videos, that's fiction now. Now your video becomes fiction, and you need to state that, because again, we're talking even YouTube community guidelines and stuff, right? You cannot deceive your people. You need to tell people what you're doing, for the most part, right? So this is why I wanted to just do this video tonight, because there's so much back and forth, and you get some of these people that are experiencing what they say experiencing paranormal, but they're getting caught faking it. And then you got their community, their subscribers going to the debunkers saying, you're bullying, you're doing all these things, leave them alone, you're wrong, you weren't there. But you don't have to be there. If you're there, if you see it on video and you see the evidence and you see where it's faked or you see where it's edited, when that's what they do, they point out these things, they debunk these things, right? These things get debunked. Then, who's the bigger fool? The one that's trying to claim that it's wrong or whatever, or the people themselves that are doing it? So this is why I say debunkers versus ghost hunters. It needs to be a thing, though. We need to have debunkers. Terry Lynn said the bullying Ben did was wrong, and doxing, exposing personal details. Yes, so Terry Lynn's bringing up a specific example, and again, we can talk a little bit about that as well. I know that's been talked a lot. There's a lot going on with that, and I suggest. So what Terry Lynn's talking about is the case between the Lainey and Ben versus which are like they're experiencing paranormal, quote unquote. And Cole Spectre, who's a much smaller channel, was basically debunking things, and but they decided to use tactics. Lainey and Ben, or Ben and Lainey, they decided to use tactics of bullying and doxing to try to force Cole Spectre off the map. Because again, you got to remember, these ghost hunting channels, they make a ton of money. Like the big ones that are doing a lot of the fakery, they're making a ton of money. And so let me put it another way. Imagine somebody like David Copperfield, or even for slightly newer audiences like Dave Blaney or Chris Angel or Shaolin, any of these great magicians that we see out there, right? So imagine if you went to a magic show, but like you knew how they did everything. Okay? Well, guess what? that magician's probably not going to get a lot of business if everybody knows his tricks. Okay, so that's why these fake ghost hunting channels are scared of debunkers, because they are pulling the magic tricks. They're the ones that are setting up the illusion, and it really is a magic trick. They're setting up the illusion and trying to get away with it. Okay, and just like, real magicians, most of the time they get away with it, and the crowd's like, ooh, and they know it's fake, but they just don't know how it's done, and they don't care. They're like, maybe magic's real. And sometimes they're like, hey, maybe magic's real. Maybe the guy made a deal with the devil and he really can do that, because I don't know how he's doing that. I don't know how it's possible. So same thing with these guys. They are doing these magic tricks essentially, and they're fooling people. Well, the debunkers are saying, wrong, look, this is how it's done. And people are like, oh man. And again, and some people are upset. Using that same analogy, I can say that I would be kind of upset if I went and watched a magician and then there was somebody that told me how the trick was done and I didn't ask them to. Like if I just was like going across the internet or something and I'm like, hey, and I watch a video and I'm like, oh crap, I guess that's not really a good analogy, because I guess people don't have to watch The Shape or Mr.Gray or anything, or Cole Spectre. They don't have to watch them, I guess. And the bearded guy, whoever the bearded guy is, I'm sorry if I can't remember your name. Beardo? Is it Mr. Beard? I don't know. Terry Lynn probably knows. But I guess they don't have to click on it, but it is kind of the same thing, I guess, when you find out when a magic trick's done a certain way. It's like you can never really look at it the same way. So that's where I kind of understand how some of the audience might be mad at the debunkers. But at the same time, I know going into a magic show that these magicians are not really using real magic. But I want to see amazing illusions. I want to be fooled. So if you're going into these ghost hunting channels and they are advertising that, and it's fictional, but that you're in for a good show, then great. It's like watching Blair Witch or Paranormal Activity, one of those reality-based lost footage styles. That it's from Hollywood, it's fake, but at the same time, it seems real, and there's, effects in there, and it can still be a good time when you go into it with that mental preparation. But now if I went into it like with Blair Witch, when Blair Witch first came out, not a lot of people knew. Like the internet was not as big as it is now. Like there wasn't like that social gathering online. There was .coms, and they had their own online thing. But when you went to their Blair Witch Online, it was like a website devoted to these missing college kids. It was like they really set it up as if it was probably going to be real. So when I went to the movies, I actually was like kind of concerned and pretty scared for these kids. And I was concerned for them. And again, I mean, this is the point. People that are going into this, if they don't know any better, they could be concerned. There's just a lot of that deception. And that really is what the debunking community is truly trying to get across, is the deception type stuff. And of course, again, when you get these big channels that try to do bullying and doxing and trying to force the smaller debunking channels off of the grid, then that's wrong as well. And that should, of course, be exposed and it should not be rewarded at all. Certainly, if those things are happening, then absolutely they should be punished. Even, again, violated for YouTube community guidelines. And that's why I'm bringing this stuff up today, is just so people can be more aware of what's going on out there. Again, if you want to go and be fooled, now if you're in a true beardo, is it beardo? Beardo gets scared. So we'll call him beardo. And so if you truly are looking for paranormal, I mean, if you really want to experience paranormal, then, you know, I would say start with something like Virginia Paranormal, okay, VAPI, Jeff Santos and some of those guys. Start with them as far as like their YouTube channel. Go check out some of their investigations. There was some of them are ex police. And they do a lot of straight-laced investigations, and Jeff's pretty funny. They do some funny stuff. But the point is that when you watch their stuff, it's not going to be as exciting, but the point is you're going to see a lot more of a true style investigation. You're not going to see all of the normal fluff, or at least since the last time I've watched their videos. It's been a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But I was trying to keep up with quite a few of their videos at times, and I like to use them as an example because when I watch them, like as a paranormal investigator myself, I know what it's like to be on an actual investigation. Just like Terry Lynn, like we've done it. You know, we had a team, we've done the investigations, we've done these things, so we know what it's like to be out there sitting in a room with a recorder on a bed or on a dresser on a night somewhere, and you're just like, is there anybody that would like to talk? And then you have to wait. Is there something you'd like to say? And you have to wait for responses, and then you don't know until you get home and review the evidence later on, or the next day, or later that week. You know, you don't know what you caught. So a lot of times you're just doing things hoping to catch something for later. So you can review the footage and see something, you know, for later. So that's why I said when I watch other certain channels, I can go, hey, this is pretty straight. You know, there's no, you know, fluff or a lot of the extra stuff. Now, when I watch some of these other channels, and again, some of the high end, you know, when you start getting like 6-digit and up, that's when you got to be careful. Now, I'm not saying that there's no channels out there that are in the 6 digits of subscribers that are legit. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you got to start really paying attention to some of those channels because, again, that's what sells, right? The fakery, the shock value, the drama, that all sells. So I try to find the balance. Like when I do a film, I try to make it like I do all the real stuff, but I at least try to add some tense music here and there, and I try to edit it decently where it looks like a show or something, you know, trying to make it at least somewhat exciting, the best I can, you know. But when it comes to the evidence, it's like, this is what I got. You be the judge, you know. You decide, because I've already did the official paranormal investigations. Now for me, it's going out, filming, and just having fun, and whatever I find, I just like to put out there to you guys and let you guys determine what you know, because I already know paranormal is real. You know, my message to you guys, you debunkers, don't be discouraged. Okay, so if I had to say anything, one thing I've noticed that between The Shape and Beardo and Mr.Gray and Spectre, all these guys, they all have a varying degree of whether they believe in paranormal or not. And if they don't believe, a lot of them want to believe. If they do believe, they're still kind of on the fence. That's why they're debunkers. All right. So I will say this, though. I was on the fence for many years as well, even though I had some pretty extraordinary experiences. But there comes a point when you start doing your own investigations time after time, and you start controlling the environment, you start controlling, in other words, you can watch 1,000 pieces of footage, you can watch 1,000 pieces of video from me if you wanted to, and you still wouldn't be convinced. But once you get out there and you take a recorder and you sit in an empty room in a house that you know is empty, maybe it's even your own house, and you've got everything shut down, all the power, no, there's nothing that could possibly make noise pretty much, and you do an EVP session, and then you find other voices on there that are not yours, then you start to believe. So my message to you debunkers, guys, don't give up on your paranormal quest, okay? And definitely don't stop debunking. Seriously. And I'm not trying to get on their good side. If any of the debunkers want to debunk my videos, they're always welcome to. I have no problems with it. I have nothing to hide. So they're more than welcome to debunk or whatever they want on my videos. They don't bother me. So I want there to be accountability. You know, I really do. If the paranormal channels that are faking it, if they put in there, hey, this is fictional, this is for entertainment purposes, we're here to make ghost hunting parodies, whatever, if they put those things in their description, then I think everybody will be a lot happier. Because then the people that watch them, as long as they know, like, hey, it's just like people that watch wrestling, right? We know it's fake, but they do a really good job. I'm not a wrestling fan anymore, but when I used to, it was like, there was that drama. It was like a male soap opera kind of back in the day. And I know women liked it too. I'm not trying to be sexist. I'm just saying, people liked stuff like that. You know what I mean? It was drama. We know it was fake, but it was fun. So sometimes, yeah, it's fun to watch some of these videos because they got a good production quality. We know they're kind of faking some things, and that's fine. But it's for the people that don't know that. That's the biggest thing. And when you don't put anything in your descriptions at all, again, you've got a large chunk, and they rally behind you. I'm telling you, there's some really diehard people that rally behind it. Now, one thing I wanted to cover a little bit here as well, and I don't know if I should, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Casper Site. So if you don't know Casper Site, I recommend, I still subscribe to them, and if you want to subscribe to them, hey, that's awesome. I'm not telling you not to. It's kind of tough. Okay, so let me kind of break this down quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on this either. So Casper Site kind of recently got into a little bit of a drama battle, because you like dramas on the internet, right? So what his drama was about was pretty much, and I'm just summarizing. You guys can always go to any of these channels and get more of the in-depth story, and I would recommend that. I'm just trying to paraphrase some things for you and summarize some things. But essentially, Casper Site, he's a reaction channel, right? And he does a lot of paranormal videos. I think he said he started out doing a lot of gaming stuff, and then, eventually he was doing the reaction videos with the paranormal things. So he'll watch a lot of the Slapped Ham and Nuke's Top 5 and, Chills and things like that. And he'll react to those videos. Well, he had caught some grief, especially when he went back to a channel that he knew was fake, or had found out was fake, and then he went back and sort of started to backpedal. And that's really when he got a lot of attention from the Shape and things like that. It's kind of like saying, wait a minute, why would you now start backpedaling when you know it's fake and you're trying to react and, this and that? Well, again, Casper Site released a video and explaining himself and talked about his childhood and why he is the way he is and all those things. And it's a good video. And the Shape countered that with another video that was pretty good video too, makes some good points. So I would recommend maybe checking all of those out. But I want to say this. That's going to be a tough spot to be in, because on one hand, you are a reaction channel and you're reacting to videos. no matter what genre, no matter what you're doing, you're a reaction channel, so you're reacting to things. It's really tough. It's tough because on one hand, you have content to make. You have to keep up with the videos out there. So you only have a limited amount of videos sometimes, especially when you get into like paranormal videos, because it's like everybody, it's like this, you start getting to some of the same videos. So I can understand why it would be hard to start trying to eliminate sources of videos, to where if you were just to go around and go, okay, I can't do any more videos from him, I can't do any more videos from him, I can't do any more from him, her, they, well, eventually you're not going to have a lot of videos to react to. I get that. So I can see one side of it, like a business thing, and sort of Casper's pretty much said, like, hey, look, I'm going to react. I'm sort of going to turn off everything and just watch it, and I'm going to react to what it is. So I get what he's doing. I get he's trying to run a business. Let's face it. Like, having a YouTube channel, when you get as big as, you know, some of these people are getting, and they start getting paid, and it becomes money, and it's their job. So their job, they've got to do this job. And then on the other hand, you know, you have somebody like The Shape, who is also saying, look, buddy, you know, you're sitting there calling out this fakery at times, but then you're going to turn around and now you're going to try to react to something that you clearly know is fake and trying to act like it's, you know, when this guy's total garbage. So, like, I get both sides of the story on this, because I get it too. So it would be the same way for me to say, hey, I know how this magician's tricks work, but now I'm going to go and try to act like I'm amazed when I see another trick of his. Like, oh, he just did another trick. Yay. Like, it's like the first time I ever seen his tricks. So I know it would be tough. And I know Casper Site tries to talk about genuine reactions. So it's a really crazy debate right there. I just want to say that for me, it would be tough because, again, like I said, it would be like having a magician exposed that I just pretty much know his tricks, and when you see him, it's kind of like, ugh, you know, how gross. And that's the sad thing. There are some pretty horrible channels that are really big, and they're making a lot of money. They're getting a lot of views, and there is just a large handful of subscribers that they don't want the realistic, boring stuff. They want the shock value, over dramatic fakery. They just do. It's sad, but so that's kind of the big take, and I hope. I know it was a really big ramble and rant. I don't know. I hope that you guys understood most everything in this. I do remember back when The Shape was small enough to grace my chat every once in a while. Now he's so big he can't show up anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't blame The Shape and things like that. It's hard for debunkers to be close to paranormal or to ghost hunters. I mean, think about it, because, you know, he's been burned a few times, and I'm pretty sure, like, if I started, you know, getting bigger and I'm doing more investigations this year, I'm sure at some point he may be like, well, I'm afraid to touch Josh's videos because, you know, we've been collabing or doing things together, and people are, you know, so, hey, that's why I said it's not a big deal. I'm not really worried about The Shape showing up. It would have been cool for him to be like, hey, you know, and he could have talked a little bit about his side of things. You know, because, again, I do know he used to show up, and we even had him a little bit on the show through Messenger, through audio. But But yeah, I mean, it would have been cool for him to talk about that side of things and the debunking side, and really speak for his community more than just me. But I'm really I think I did a pretty good job of characterizing the debunkers, and because they tell you themselves, they straight up tell you in their videos, they say, look, we're not trying to, just deflate a bunch of people's, like, pop people's balloons and stuff. We're just trying to get these people to stop, fooling people, deceiving people. If they were a fictional thing, like, obviously they're not going to go and take, like, Friday the 13th and be like, hey, we're going to debunk this. This is fake. Well, of course it's fake. It's a freaking movie. Well, that's the thing. But if there was people that legitimately, if Friday the 13th came out and said this is a true story and this is not, this is all real footage, then people are gonna, if they would be freaked out, they'd be like, oh my god. And there'd be probably a group of people that would believe it or not. They would believe in some kind of real life Jason and like it was all footage caught. Well, you'd want somebody to debunk it and say, listen, this is fake. You see why? Here's where the actor's mask is. Here's where there's these cuts here. There's these fake camera angles that you cannot do with real cameras or, like, real scenarios. So again, you'd want somebody to break that down and keep things honest out there. So I hope that all made sense. I hope that did. Terry Lynn hasn't been complaining too much at me in chat, so I must have been saying at least decent things tonight. So if I had sounded like a complete idiot, she said you need to make it clear that Ben and Lainey exposing someone's personal I did. I thought I made that very clear, honey. Again, I know Terry Lynn this has been like a pet peeve of hers as well, the whole Ben and Lainey thing and Cole Spectre. And I told you guys, I would seriously go and look that up. Look up Cole Spectre, give him some love, subscribe to him, whatnot. But go watch. I know they're kind of long, okay? But he's going to tell you his personal story, okay? And he will explain to it. And once you hear the things that he went through and the PTSD and like all the things, again, I don't want to give away too much. I'd rather him explain it to you because it makes a lot more sense coming from him. But again, when you have a bigger channel like Ben and Lainey, when they start trying to threaten, and so one of the threats was kind of one of those things where I think it was like Ben got on camera and was just kind of like, it's so easy to, and I'm just paraphrasing, I'm not quoting him exactly, but he basically was like, it's so easy to find this person online. You can just click, and I found out that he's married and has kids and blah blah blah, and I found out his name. Like, when you throw that all out there and then you say, I wouldn't do anything to this individual, but you never know who might do that. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, you can't just make blank statements out there like that. That's not good. So that's just like one of the examples, and there's other things. Again, you could get into a lot with this. The point is, and I think what Terry Lynn really wanted to make sure is that you cannot be bullying people online like this. People are allowed to have opinions. They should be allowed to have opinions. That's part of free speech in this country. We should all be able to get up here and use a platform like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. It doesn't matter. You should be able to use these platforms and speak your opinions. And everybody has the right to also not listen to your opinion, right? So if somebody is saying, hey, I don't like Josh, I think he's an a-hole, I'm not going to go and try to dox this guy. I'm not going to go and try to think. Now, look, I might message him and I'd be like, hey, why do you think I'm an a-hole? Like, what did I do to you? Like, maybe explain yourself. I don't know. But the point is that everybody has their opinions, whether I like them or not. And some of you may comment in the chat. You might say something really mean to me, and that's your opinion, you know. You have a right to say it. Now, I do think, yes, there's when you get into threat territory and you get into hate speech, you know, that's when you start drawing the line, you know. I mean, and that really should be just a societal don't cross that line kind of thing, period. But yet we've made it a point nowadays in today's society where we like to cross that line for some reason. We just don't care. We're like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. And people just spout out information or mean things. Anyways, but yeah, and Terralyn said veiled threats. And that's what they are. They're veiled threats. So bottom line, folks, be nice to each other. And don't deceive, right? So I had a message to the debunking community. And my message to the ghost hunting community is be legit. Be legit. And if you're not, if you're going to create content, then tell people. Just tell people. You know, no matter what, if you are honest with people and you just like, you put in the description that this content is created, it's fictional or a fictional piece of work, or call it a short film, whatever you want to call it, as long as people know that this is a fictional work, you know, piece of work, or it contains fictional elements in it, then let people know that, and then trust me, people will leave you alone. Okay? They will leave you alone if they, like the debunkers will leave you alone. Now, if you're a ghost hunter and you're faking things and you're out doing investigations at these like abandoned warehouses, and you're like using strings, you're using After Effects, you're using, you know, extra people, all the different techniques. All right, I'm not going to go through them all. But if you're using these things, again, to make it seem as if you're at a super haunted location and, you know, you're deceiving your people into subscribing, again, you're wrong. You're in the wrong. You're deceiving people, and that's not cool. And you're not helping out the paranormal industry at all. You're making things worse. You know, I asked, and we're getting ready. I'm getting ready to end the stream here in a little bit because I didn't want a super long stream. I've got some things I got to do tonight. But you know, I've every once in a while I'll come across different, I guess you maybe call them experts, or, you know, seasoned veterans in the field of paranormal. And I'll ask them every once in a while, like, you know, when I come across some of these guys, you know, when I interviewed Daryl Marston from, you know, Ghost Hunters, from the TV show Ghost Hunters, when I've interviewed, and when I, you know, that's what I'm talking about. When I've interviewed some of these different people that's been around the industry like I have, I ask them, you know, usually like off the record kind of stuff. So, but I'll say, you know, where do you think the paranormal industry is? Do you think we've gained any ground over the last 30 years or so? And almost everybody, again, I can't give you official, you know, because a lot of it's off the record, but almost everybody, I think everybody probably has answered, no, we have not gained any ground. In fact, most of them believe that we went backwards. And I agree with them. I think YouTube and all this fakery has really hurt the paranormal industry. It really has. Because nobody knows what to believe anymore. And, you know, and that's the problem. And then you get these people, they go out there, they try to do something in real life, and they're just like, they're in that mindset of like, oh, this is dumb. Look, paranormal is not what you think it is. It's not what you think. Okay, so when you go out to an investigation and it's boring, you're doing it. Okay, and chances are, if you were setting up your equipment correctly, then you're probably going to capture some evidence. You know, you will. And if you keep doing it, yeah, eventually I think you would convert. But most people, they want it now. They want it instant. That's why they have spirit boxes. That's why they have these devices that alert you. And the Ovilus is all the things that talk now. and then all the apps and all that, the apps, the spirit boxes, all that stuff. Most of it's not good. A good old fashioned, where is it? I don't even know if I have it on here, but just a good old fashioned audio recorder. It's all you need. Well, it's not all you need, but I'm just saying, it's one of the tools, one of the best tools right here. Audio recorder. Click record and then ask questions and leave about a 20 to 30 second silence in between your questions. And then go back, listen to it with headphones cranked up, and be able to, listen and have some kind of software that you can rewind and isolate a little section and listen and analyze. That's where you'll find a lot of your spiritual voices. That's where you're going to find a lot of spirit voices. It's in EVPs. It's not in apps. I don't trust those things at all. Apps, all that stuff. Spirit boxes. You're scanning through these radio stations. Yeah, I've heard some pretty long phrases that's come across spirit boxes. Again, I'm not saying that. Again, I'm not saying they're wrong either. But if you really want to try to isolate true paranormal, do more audio recordings. All right. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. If you have, or if you are in the never-ending battle of debunkers versus ghost hunters, please click like, share, subscribe. Guys, I don't want to just say we do legitimate investigations, but we do. So I don't want to tote my own horn, but guys, if you do want to see some real investigations, I've got some stuff coming up that's lined up this year, and I'm going to go out, I'm going to investigate, and whatever evidence I came up. What? It says, watch your mouth. Josh gave us an awesome portal. Wait, what do you mean? What happened? What did I do? Watch my mouth. Josh gave us an awesome portal. Oh, you're talking about ITC? Well, yeah, and I'm not ungrateful about ITC. Like I said, I use spirit boxes still. I still have, we have our SB7 and stuff. I still use those as a form of investigation. But I'm saying that we've gotten so reliant on going out and just using spirit boxes and apps and things like that we're not always getting, we're missing out on true evidence in that sense. But yes, I think, and what I do like about some of these portals, like in the fact of Josh from Southern Afterlife, is that some of them take away all that, all the background noise, and you can hear some of the responses a little more clear and things like that. So it says you would have an SB11, but why don't you let that go already, woman? Let that go. Stop it with the SB11. Anyways, all right, guys. So we're gonna wrap up here. I've got to do some things now. I've got to go and film some stuff for an hour or so. But I'm probably going to stream something live a little later. I may do a little more of Conrad Stevenson's Paranormal PI. So, and I know that Terry Lynn's got a new game she wants me to play. And I may play that this Saturday or something. It just depends, because I know we had plans this weekend and then we kind of canceled them. But Saturday nights and Sunday nights I usually have for either live investigations or streaming. So, and chances are we'll probably spend Saturday, I'm guessing, probably will spend a good chunk of time with whatever this new game is that Terry Lynn wants us to play. But it's Terry Lynn's birthday weekend, so if y'all want to wish her happy birthday a day in advance, her birthday is tomorrow. So in the comments, if you want to wish her happy birthday, or Facebook, or hit her up on what else? Her TikTok, which is Beyond the Veil 2022, I think it is. Or go to her Etsy, Beyond the Veil Designs, all one word. So, but yes, baby, it's your birthday weekend. So, but tonight, folks, I probably will stream live, but it'll be a little later, maybe closer to like 11:30, 12 o'clock. I'll probably do a late stream. But I got to do a little filming in between here, something I'm working on. So, guys, I just want to say, and let me know too. Let me know what you think of my new little intro screens. Now, some of you that's been watching me play the video games, you see I've had this kind of animated border here for the video games. And so I thought I would just use it since I didn't have Stacy with me tonight. I thought I'd use the new screens. And, you know, it's pretty cool because I do have what is it? So if you want to see things like, we can transition over here. If you want to see like a screen, I can show you guys, hey, look, there's the Shapes channel right there. In fact, see, you can see I'm subscribed. So what'd you say? Hold on. Beardo Gets Scared. Is that what you said the name of his channel is, honey? Beardo Gets Scared. All right, so I'm not subscribed. So Beardo, don't get mad at me. I didn't really know of you. No offense. I didn't know. So there. I just subscribed to you, Beardo, live on TV. So guys, go check out his stuff. He looks like he's got some pretty cool looking videos. And it looks like he does a lot of ghost hunting too. So it doesn't look like he's just all about debunking and stuff.
Candleston Castle.
But he does talk about fake
Candleston
channels and all that stuff.
Is located in the small Welsh village of Merton.
Anyways, I just thought I'd show you guys kind of the new screen there, and see what you guys thought about it. All right, so guys, we'll see you in the next video. Remember, we do this usually every Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget, if you want to see me play some video games tonight, later on, come back. Come see us. All right, we'll see you in the next video, guys. Remember, seek the truth.